The medical station floated in the dark, between two dead stars. It was a place where pain arrived and hope usually left. Every species in the galaxy knew this station. It was clean, silent, and cold. Aliens from dozens of worlds came here for treatment. Some came injured, some came dying. Some came only to be studied. Humans were rare here. Very rare. To most species, humans were weak creatures. Soft bodies, slow reflexes, short lives, they came from a violent death world. Yet somehow survived by luck, not strength. That is what the galaxy believed. Inside one white medical chamber, an alien nurse prepared a syringe. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes calm and focused. She had done this many times before, too many times. The liquid inside the syringe was clear and still. It was called the final compound, a poison designed to stop all life. No species had ever survived it. Not one. The poison was not used often, only when the council ordered it. Only when a subject was considered too dangerous or too useless to keep alive. Today, the order was simple: terminate the human. The human lay on the medical table, restrained by energy bands. His body was covered in dried blood and burn marks. He was unconscious, breathing slow and shallow. His face showed pain, but also stubborn calm. The nurse looked at him with mild curiosity. Humans always looked fragile to her. So small, so thin, so breakable. She checked the monitor. Heart rate weak but steady. Brain activity low. Life signs fading, perfect timing. Two alien doctors stood behind the glass wall. Watching, they spoke in low tones. Confident and bored. To them, this was routine. One doctor said the human would last 8 seconds. The other said maybe 10. They laughed quietly. The nurse stepped closer. She cleaned the injection site on the human's arm. Her movements were precise and emotionless. This was not cruelty to her. It was procedure. She inserted the needle. The poison flowed into the human's bloodstream. Clear liquid disappearing under pale skin. The injection was complete. The nurse stepped back. She activated the timer. 10 seconds. The room became silent. Even the machine seemed to pause. 3 seconds passed. The human did not move. 5 seconds passed. His chest still rose and fell. 7 seconds passed. The monitors did not flatline. The nurse frowned slightly. That was unusual. 10 seconds passed. The timer ended. The human was still alive. One of the doctors leaned forward. Confused, he checked the poison readout. Dosage correct. Purity perfect. The nurse waited. Sometimes death took a moment longer. Sometimes the body fought briefly. Then failed. 30 seconds passed. The human's heart rate slowed. Then stabilized. It did not stop. 1 minute passed. The poison should have shut down every organ by now. It did not. The nurse felt something unfamiliar. Unease. 2 minutes passed. The human's fingers twitched. The room changed. Confidence turned into silence. Silence turned into tension. One doctor whispered that the equipment must be broken. The other ordered a full scan. The nurse looked at the human's face. His jaw tightened slightly, as if his body was fighting something unseen. The poison spread through his blood. But instead of collapse, something else happened. His immune system reacted, not gently, aggressively. The monitor showed strange spikes, chemical resistance forming in real time. The nurse stepped back another step. Her calm finally cracked. 3 minutes passed. No species had ever lasted this long. The human suddenly inhaled deeply. A sharp breath, full of pain. His eyes snapped open. Brown eyes, focused. Burning, alive. The nurse froze. The doctor stumbled back from the glass. The human looked around slowly, confused, hurt, but very much alive. The nurse whispered without meaning to, "Impossible." Her voice shook. No species survives this poison. The human's eyes met hers. His lips moved, no sound came out. But his expression said everything. He was still here. Alarms began to ring across the station. Red lights flashed. Systems detected a biological anomaly. The nurse backed away, fear rising in her chest. For the first time in her long career, the poison had failed, and the galaxy had just made a terrible mistake. Alarms echoed through the medical station. Red lights washed over white walls. What was once calm and controlled became tense and uncertain. The human was not supposed to be alive. That single fact broke every rule the station followed. The alien nurse stepped back slowly. Her hands trembled for the first time in years. She had injected death itself. Yet death refused to listen. Behind the glass, the two alien doctors argued quietly. Their voices were sharp and nervous. One blamed faulty equipment. The other blamed contamination. Neither wanted to say the truth. The poison had failed. A third doctor entered the room, older and more cautious. He studied the monitors without speaking. His eyes narrowed as data streamed past. The human's heart rate was strong now. Not weak, not fading, strong blood analysis appeared on the screen. The poison was still present, active, aggressive, lethal. Yet the human body did not shut down. Instead, it adapted. The older doctor spoke slowly. He said the human immune response was attacking the poison. Breaking it down, learning from it, the room fell silent again. That kind of reaction was unheard of. Most species tried to resist poison, then failed. Humans did something different. They fought back. The human groaned softly. Pain rippled through his body. Muscles tightened, teeth clenched. But he did not scream. He endured. The nurse watched his face. She expected terror. She saw anger instead. Security officers arrived at the chamber door, tall armored figures with weapons ready. They had been trained for riots and escapes, not miracles. One officer asked if the human was dangerous. No one answered. The human slowly turned his head. His eyes focused on the nearest movement. Even restrained, even poisoned, he was alert. The nurse realized something then. This human was not panicking. He was assessing. A doctor ordered additional sedatives. Another warned against it. No one knew how human chemistry would react now. The station computer flagged the human as an anomaly. Priority level red. Council notification required. A message was sent to the Galactic Medical Council. Short and urgent. Execution poison failed. Human alive. Seconds felt like minutes. Minutes felt like danger. The human's breathing steadied. His skin temperature returned to normal. Sweat formed on his brow, but his body held. The nurse swallowed hard. She remembered the reports about humans. Stories of survival on toxic worlds, of fighting diseases that wiped out other species. She had dismissed them as myths. Now one lay breathing in front of her. The older doctor whispered that humans evolved on a deathworld, where poison was common, where bacteria tried to kill them every day, where survival required constant adaptation. The nurse looked at the syringe still floating nearby. The same poison had erased entire civilizations, yet this human endured. The restraints around the human's arms tightened automatically. Sensors detected increased strength. That was impossible. He was still poisoned. The human flexed his fingers again. Energy bands flickered briefly. Fear spread through the room. Not panic, something colder. Respect mixed with dread. A council response arrived. Text flashing on the central screen. Confirm status. Do not release the subject. The nurse took a step back, her voice low. She said the human should be terminated immediately. The older doctor shook his head. Termination had already failed. Trying again might make things worse. The human suddenly laughed, a dry, painful sound, but unmistakably human. Every alien froze. Laughter was not expected. Not now, not here. The human whispered something weak and broken. but the translation system caught it. "You should have used more." Silence crushed the room. Security officers raised their weapons, hands shaking, orders unclear. The nurse felt a chill move through her body. This was not a patient anymore. This was a warning. If one human could survive this, what could 100 do? What could an army do? The station lights dimmed as systems rerouted power, emergency protocols activated. Somewhere deep in the station, a decision was being made. And for the first time in galactic history, the question was not how to kill a human. It was whether killing one was even possible. The pain did not stop. It grew. The poison burned through the human's veins like fire, but the human did not fade. Inside his body, a silent war began. Cells reacted without fear. Systems that evolved for survival took control. The poison attacked fast, breaking cells, shutting pathways. It was designed to end life quickly, without struggle. But the human body was built for struggle. His immune system did not wait for orders. White cells flooded the bloodstream. They surrounded the poison, they attacked it. The station monitors struggled to understand what they were seeing. Graphs spiked and shifted. Patterns changed every second. The alien doctors stared in disbelief. No species adapted this fast. No species rewrote chemistry in real time. The human's heart slowed for a moment, then forced itself back into rhythm, not calm, determined. His muscles tightened against the restraints, not to escape, but to endure. Sweat soaked his skin, his breath came heavy. Yet every breath was a choice. The nurse watched closely. Her training told her the human should be dead. Her eyes told her the truth. This body was learning. Chemical filters inside the human liver activated, breaking the poison apart, turning death into waste. The alien systems flagged unknown reactions. Adaptive metabolism detected, resistance increasing. The older doctor whispered that humans evolved alongside poison. Venoms, toxins, bacteria. Every day on their world tried to kill them. And every day they survived, the human groaned again. His jaw clenched hard enough to crack teeth. Pain was everywhere, but quitting was not an option. He remembered nothing clearly, no past, no place. Only one instinct remained. Live, the poison tried one last surge. A final chemical wave meant to shut down the brain. The human body answered with fury. Blood pressure rose, oxygen flooded the system. Neurons refused to go dark. The monitors screamed warnings. Systems overheated. Calculations failed. The nurse stepped back as the human arched against the table. Energy restraints flickered again. Strain detected, the doctor shouted orders. But no one was in control now. The human's eyes rolled back. Then focused again, clear, sharp, aware. He was not winning easily, but he was winning. The poison levels dropped, slowly, then faster. The station computer updated the status. Lethal compound neutralized. Partial was enough. The nurse felt something break inside her. This was not a medical anomaly. This was a species trait. Humans did not avoid pain. They endured it until the threat died first. The human's breathing steadied. His heart rate returned to normal. Not weak, not failing normal. The doctor stopped arguing. There was nothing left to debate. The human survived. A silence fell heavier than before. No alarms, no movement, just realization. The nurse looked at the human and understood the mistake. This poison had been a test, and the human had passed. But tests changed those who survived them. The restraints tightened once more. Emergency power surged through them. The human slowly turned his head toward the nurse. Pain still in his eyes, but strength behind it. He spoke softly. Voice raw and broken. Is that all? The nurse could not answer. She did not know anymore. Somewhere far beyond the station, the council received new data. The poison had failed. The human had adapted. And the galaxy was facing a truth it was not ready to accept. Humans were not fragile. They were forged, and whatever came next, they would survive that too. The medical chamber no longer felt like a place of control. It felt small, fragile. The human lay restrained, alive, breathing, recovering, across the station. Systems reacted to the anomaly. Security doors sealed shut. Corridors locked down. Emergency lights replaced the calm white glow. A station-wide alert sounded. Biological threat detected. All personnel report to secure zones. The message echoed fear, not protocol. The nurse stepped away from the table. Her mind raced. Everything she believed about humans had collapsed. Behind the glass, security commanders argued. Some demanded immediate termination. Others warned that nothing worked anymore. The human was no longer a patient. He was a variable. The restraints hummed louder. Power increased to maximum safe levels, yet the human's muscles still flexed against them. Testing, measuring, the nurse noticed it. He was not thrashing. He was learning. A security officer entered the chamber. Weapon raised, but hands unsteady. He had faced beasts and rebels before, but never something that refused to die. The officer asked if the human could hear them. No one answered. The human slowly lifted his head. Movement limited, but deliberate. Eyes calm now, focused. That calm terrified them more than rage. The station computer replayed old human data. Survival statistics from toxic environments. War zones, plagues, radiation exposure, patterns emerged. Humans survived where others vanished. The older doctor spoke quietly. He said humans were shaped by constant danger. Pain was not a warning to them. It was information. The nurse felt cold. If pain was information, then the poison had taught the human something. Another alert arrived. Direct transmission from the Galactic Council. Subject classified as extreme biological risk. Contain at all costs. Do not allow escape. The words echoed through the chamber. The nurse knew what those words meant. Fear had reached the highest level. The human heard the alert. Translation systems confirmed it. His lips curled slightly. Not into a smile, but something close. He whispered softly, barely audible. So now you are scared. The security officer tightened his grip on the weapon. But he did not fire. Instinct told him not to. The human's heart rate rose slightly. Not from panic. From readiness, energy restraints flickered again. Microfractures detected. That should not happen. Technicians shouted warnings from control rooms. Power fluctuations increased. The station itself seemed strained. The nurse backed away further. Her role had ended. Whatever this was now. It was not medical. Across the station, whispers spread. Staff spoke of a human who survived death. Of poison that failed. Of a mistake too large to fix quietly. Fear moved faster than any alarm. The older doctor stared at the human. He said something no one wanted to hear. If the restraints failed, there would be no stopping him. The security officer asked how strong humans were. No one gave a number. The station commander ordered full lockdown. All external docks sealed, weapons armed, evacuation canceled. They were not protecting the station anymore. They were protecting the galaxy. The human closed his eyes briefly, breathing slow, controlled. His body had finished fighting the poison. Now it waited. The nurse realized the truth too late. The poison had not weakened him. It had prepared him. The station lights dimmed again as power shifted. Energy focused on containment fields. A final message from the council arrived. Short, cold, final. Human must not leave alive. The nurse felt dread sink deep into her core. Killing him had already failed once. The human opened his eyes, sharp and clear. He looked directly at the nearest camera, as if he knew the galaxy was watching. And for the first time since arriving on the station, he smiled. The station held its breath. Every system focused on one room, one human. Orders from the council were clear. Eliminate the subject, no delay, no negotiation. Security teams moved into position. Weapons charged, target locked. The human remained still, eyes open, mind sharp. He listened to the hum of energy restraints, to the distant footsteps, to the fear moving through the walls. The poison was gone now. Not defeated, consumed, his body felt heavy. Bruised, burned, but alive, the restraints surged with maximum power. Fields tightened around his limbs, pressure meant to crush muscle and bone. The human grunted softly. Pain returned, but pain was familiar. He pushed, slowly, carefully. Cracks spread through the energy bands. Sensors screamed warnings, containment failing. The security commander shouted to fire. Weapons discharged. Stun waves filled the chamber. The human screamed, not in fear, in effort. His body absorbed the shock, muscles shaking, heart pounding, still standing. One restraint failed, then another. The human fell to his knees. But he did not stop. He stood again. The room erupted into chaos. Security officers stepped back. Instinct overpowering training. The nurse watched from the corner, frozen. She understood now. This was not strength born from power. It was strength born from survival. The human looked around the chamber. At weapons, at frightened faces, at beings who once called him weak. He spoke clearly now, voice steady, low. You tried to kill me. No threat, no anger, just truth. The older doctor lowered his head. There was no argument left. Outside the chamber, council representatives watched in silence. Their models, predictions, and assumptions shattered. The human did not attack. He did not run. He waited. That frightened them more than violence ever could. The station commander ordered a ceasefire. Weapons powered down, hands lowered. The galaxy had reached a limit. The human took a slow breath. Pain still burned inside him. But his will burned brighter. He said one final thing. Words that carried far beyond the station. If this poison was your worst, then you were never ready for us. Silence followed, heavy and absolute. The council ended the transmission. Emergency meetings began. Rules were rewritten in fear. The human was no longer a subject. He was evidence. Across the galaxy, reports spread. The execution poison had failed. The human survived. Species that once mocked humanity paused. Military planners adjusted simulations. Doctors erased old textbooks. Humans were reclassified. Not as fragile, not as temporary, but as adaptive, resistant, dangerous to underestimate. The nurse looked at the human one last time. Regret in her eyes, respect in her posture. She had injected death and watched it lose. The human was escorted out, not in chains, but in silence. The station returned to routine, but nothing felt the same. Because the galaxy had learned a lesson it could not forget. The poison that killed every species failed. Because humans were never meant to die easily, and next time, the galaxy would think twice before testing them again.